What up, peeps? Welcome back to the flip side. And, I want to make one thing straight, okay? I upload on Tuesdays, so before you look at this title and be all like, you're like 6 days late, blah, 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 blah. I just want you to know, Tuesdays is when I upload, so but before you make your way up my spine, just go ahead and get all the way off my back about it, okay? So, May 4th, as we know, is Star Wars Day, and this is a dedication to that day, because I'm a big Star Wars fan, as you might know already. So, what I wanted to do was rank all the Star Wars movies. Oh, and by the way, this isn't even a question. Holiday Special, Caravan of Courage, and the second one, like they had to make a second one, is in the Darth Jar Jar, otherwise known as the bottom, because they're just beyond shit, okay? Holiday Special was just whack, and then I guess they got creative with the Ewoks and Caravan of Courage, blah 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 blah, but let's just get one thing straight. All the Ewoks are just merchandising pieces. Let's get that straight. Anyway, okay. And at the end of this video, I do have some shout-outs that I would like to make to some friends and family. So, without further ado, let's get started. The first one I'd like to rank is the very first one. Excuse me. The very first one that started it all. Star Wars: A New Hope. Now, when I think of Star Wars, I think of this movie. If I'm trying to introduce a friend or a young family member to the franchise, I'm gonna put this one on first, because this is how it all got started. I'm not introducing any of my family or friends to Episode 1, right? No, you gotta start them off with the true classics. And that's what it is, a true classic. So that's about it for that one. Anyway. Oh, and by the way, Han shot first, okay? Han Solo shot first. Greedo did not. I just want to put that in here because it's true. And let's just get it out that Star Wars is peak for Harrison Ford. Okay, everything else besides Indiana Jones and Blade Runner, meh. Okay, next, I guess we can do Episode 2. I'm going to put in Raylo, or the mid, because, I mean, they CGI'd the fuck out of this movie. And considering today's technology in CGI in movies, the CGI did not age well. And another reason why Episode 2 sort of sucks is because of the acting for Anakin and just some cheap dialogue between the characters, like that fight between Yoda and Dooku when they were just throwing stuff at each other. And to be honest, I think Jango Fett should have had a better fight. He shouldn't have just gone out like a chump. And yeah, there's a lot of cheesy things in this movie. That is why it makes it mid, but it's still a cool movie. Let's see. Next, I'm gonna do Solo. Like, I don't know, I liked this movie, but I feel like it's mid. Like, it's really underrated. But at the same time, I can see why people would say that, it's mid. It's not better than Rogue One, blah, blah, blah. But to be honest, I thought it was a good movie. The only problem I have with this movie is that, when Han decided, to sign up for the Empire, we really didn't get to see a lot of that. All we got to see was a flash forward of 3 or 4 years later when it was like when he was leaving. That would have been cool to see all of his like adventures or something. Like, we could have had a longer movie, but no. And everything, I mean, at least we saw Lando. We didn't really see Boba Fett which doesn't really make any sense since, they're sort of enemies. But overall, I thought the plot was alright. I liked the characters. I liked Kira in the end turning out to have, affiliations with Maul. But I feel like we shouldn't really see any more of Maul because they sort of overexposed him in Rebels, and then we just see him again in Solo, and it's just like, yay, Darth Maul, another Darth Maul thing. Which I'm not dissing Darth Maul. I'm just saying they need to relax with the Darth Maul cameos and stuff. And anyways, it's a cool origin story, and it's a good movie. It's rewatchable, so that's another good thing. Speaking of, origin movies and side movies, Rogue One was really good. I'm suffering from like a cold or something. Rogue One was really good. It was like, oh, and by the way, these columns are not ordered. None of these movies are ordered. It's just I'm putting them in the column that they belong in. Anyway, Rogue One was really good. I mean, who would think that just, oh, how did they get the plans for the Death Star? Oh, let's make a movie for that. Like, I don't think we really did need a movie for how they got the plans, but I'm just glad it turned out alright. All the characters were cool. That Darth Vader scene at the end where he was just piling through those rebel troopers in the end. The only character I really didn't like was Krennic. I feel like he was just this, cartoon villain that you wake up to every Saturday morning, right? He was like bratty and like, oh, I need more power, blah, 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 blah. And like, I don't know. I don't think a lot of characters really liked him. But I did like Chirrut and his partner with that minigun. And there were a lot of like good comedic moments in the story. Saw Gerrera was cool. There's just a lot of cool elements in the story that really make it a good movie. And although I did have a problem with like some of the CGI, right? Like we didn't really need Tarkin in the movie. And I guess the Leia face CGI in the very end was okay. But other than that, great movie. Next movie is the Clone Wars movie. I'm going to put this in the second to last here. The reason I don't really like this movie a lot is because of the characters and the plot. Everything else, all the visuals are cool. Basically, the plot is stupid. And the only thing good about this movie is Dooku and Kenobi. First of all, Kenobi just milks it every time he's on screen. That one scene where he's trying to delay the separatists for the troops, I don't really understand the exact details of that, but just him dragging out the surrender stuff with the separatist commander, that was just funny. And he was just being a troll. And let's just get out of the way that Kenobi was just a big giant troll in the Clone Wars. He had some funny lines. Anyway, Ahsoka and Anakin in the story, they weren't really a great duo. Since, every time Anakin gave him a command, Ahsoka was like, but that, I want to do this and that, it would be much better. Like, shut up, Ahsoka. Like, every time you talk, every time, you're like, oh, but this is a better idea. You sound like a whiny teenager. Which she is. But it's just good that she got a better character, like, development over the show. Especially the final season of Clone Wars. But the Clone Wars movie, not a good start. And they put this damn thing in theaters. Like, they were going to get good reception off of this. And the fact that Jabba the Hutt would hire Jedi to go get his son for him was just a stupid idea on Jabba's part. Why would he ally with Jedi, right? And the stupid Jabba baby thing, It was like most of the time they were just making stinky jokes, and you know, and the entire movie appealed more to like the children and not like the adult fans, which made it suck even more. But that's about it for that movie. Overall, I'd give Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the movie, about a 6 out of 10. Anyway, next movie, speaking of bad, Rise of Skywalker. I feel like I want to put it in second to last. Actually, no, this is Last Jedi. What the fuck? Anyway, I want to put it here. Just because there could have been so much more to this movie, but there wasn't. Basically, the rebels were just running away from the First Order, and then the only good exciting part on the rebels account was that like broken down ship squad fighting the walkers. I don't know what they're called, AT-ATs or whatever the First Order called them, but the Empire called them AT-ATs, so I don't really remember what the First Order called them. But first of all, I don't think we should have had that scene with Leia, because she got sucked into space. She would just have kept on flying. I mean, that's not how space works. Yeah, sure, she survived because Leia's force sensitive and she was able to like pull herself back in, but back into the ship. But in all actuality, if they got blown into space, Leia too would be blown away into the vacuum of space, because that's just how space works. And they had to pull her back into the ship with her in a Mary Poppins pose. Well, sort of. And I don't know. There was not really a lot of good action. I mean, what was that in one of the final scenes where that slave boy picked up that stick with the Force? What was that? What were we gonna do with that in the first place? We did nothing with it. And Rose, we only really got to see her in The Last Jedi. Other than that, we didn't really see her. Because in this movie, she was busy doing stuff. Which is stupid. Some people like the character. I didn't really like the character, but she played quite a big role in The Last Jedi. So, whatever. It's whatever. This movie's whatever. At least we get to learn, Kylo Ren's origin story. But other than that, this movie doesn't really serve a big purpose besides plot for the sequel trilogy. Speaking of sequel trilogy, Rise of Skywalker. I'm going to put it in mid because it's better than Last Jedi. Now, a lot of people say that this movie just straight up sucks. But there's a lot of good elements too. Like, I liked the fight between Rey and Kylo Ren, and I like the fight with Kylo Ren and the Knights in Exegol. But honestly, Finn in that movie kind of sucked. All he was doing was screaming, "Rey! Rey! Rey! Rey!" Like, not just in this movie, through the sequel trilogy, for the most part. Rey! Rey! That's all you heard, mostly. All the characters sort of went down in, like, character. They were all at their best in The Force Awakens, but so let's see. Another problem I have with this movie is that the Death Star should have had its remains fall back onto Endor, because that's the closest planet it was by. It was floating, like, above. Not some random planet. And, like, I know that they said, oh, well, the blast radius of the explosion sent the parts to this one planet. Well, I don't know if it was all the Death Star parts, but most of them. First of all, most of them wouldn't have been able to freaking make it on any planet because it's a round ball. If it explodes, it's going to explode in all directions. So, to say that most of the Death Star parts landed on this planet, I don't even know what the name of it is. doesn't really make any sense. If anything, most of the parts should have landed on Endor. And another problem I have is that stupid cave scene where Rey used her healing powers. Since when did we healing powers and the force speed we rarely see? So why did we even have force speed in episode 1 in the very beginning? I'll get to that later. But the only thing really good about this movie is that it was a climactic finish to the sequel trilogy. I really didn't like Sidious as the villain. I don't know. He just seems like an overused character now. Like, he was at his best in the prequel trilogy. So that's about it. Like, we only saw the Emperor in Empire Strikes Back for a second, and then Return of the Jedi. But I think he was at his best in the prequel trilogy. But yet again, literally, Sidious uses his lightning on Rey, right? In the final fight between Rey and Sidious. Did he not learn from the last time when he did that he literally disfigured his face in Revenge of the Sith? He made his face look all ugly. And first of all, I don't even agree. I don't even want to believe that, Sidious just got his face ugly because he got his lightning reflected back onto his head. That's so stupid to me. It would have made better sense if, Sidious's face in the original trilogy was all ugly because of how the dark side corrupted his figure and, he's old. That would have made more sense. But no. We're just gonna make his face look like a moldy potato just because, his lightning got reflected back onto him. I don't know, that's stupid to me. And okay, did he not learn that? Did he not learn from Revenge of the Sith that, when he gets his lightning reflected, it's gonna damage him? Because literally Rey reflects his lightning, and he just doesn't stop. He just doesn't stop blowing his lightning at Rey, and that's what kills him. He just doesn't stop. He's this brilliant mastermind behind the Clone Wars. He's this powerful villain, and yet he just doesn't stop blowing his lightning, and that's how he dies.
Ski or ride world-class resorts with Epic Pass. Explore Vail, Breck, Park City, Whistler Blackcomb, and so many more, all season long. Hurry, last chance for buddy tickets is May 30th.
What was that? I didn't mean to, show these. I didn't mean to, show these, but I wanted to see if something was playing. But is it still playing? Oh, it's this! This pop-up ad. Okay, never mind, guys. We'll get to these in the end of the video. So a little sneak peek before the end. There. My bad. Anyway, all right. I'm done with Kylo Ren. I think Kylo Ren was at his best though too. The very beginning, the very beginning, with that scene where he acquires the holocron to get the Exegol. I liked that scene a lot. That was a good start to this movie. It was better than that stupid Millennium Falcon hyperdrive jumping scene. So, yeah. Anyway, next movie, moving on from Rise of Skywalker. I just want to say that this movie is not that bad. It may be, mid, but it's not, bad. Anyway, next movie. Next movie, let's just get the sequel trilogy out of the way. Force Awakens, this is mid, too. I like this movie. I like how everybody was hyped to go see the new movie when, thinking about it today, it wasn't really that great. First of all, broke my heart when Harrison Ford finally died. Harrison Ford wanted to kill Han Solo in Return of the Jedi, but I'm glad that didn't happen because his death was perfect the way it was. by Kylo Ren. And first of all, why I don't the whole arc where like Finn is using the lightsaber for most of the movie, I don't even think he should have done that, because then they're just gonna give it to Rey, who just all of a sudden gets force sensitive by the end of the movie, where she's like escaping Starkiller base, and just fighting Kylo Ren. She didn't really use any of her force powers from the beginning until then. So it's like, up until the end, we didn't see her using her force powers, but Finn gets to hold Luke's lightsaber. I don't know, it's stupid to me. I guess I guess it was cool, but I don't know, I liked it. Kylo Ren was cool. BB-8 was cool. All the characters were at their best in this movie. Up until like Rise of Skywalker, they kind of lost their character specialties. But yeah, this movie is what made the characters cool. Last Jedi and then Rise of Skywalker, they're not as cool anymore. Anyway, next movie. Let's just do episode 1. Episode 1, I don't know. Not that good, because literally I have a few problems with this movie. First of all, Queen Amidala is like a teenager. So that's one thing. Another thing is the characters, the Jedi and Darth Maul, were highly underused. Literally, we only really get to see a lot of Maul in the very end during the fight scene. Sure, that scene with Qui-Gon and Maul in Tatooine was alright, but it really wasn't much. It was only like a few seconds of that. And we really only got to see Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and Darth Maul really go into their Jedi skills in the very end. And then don't even get me started on fucking Jar Jar. He's just the worst. It pains me to see that we had to see him in Clone Wars, this series. But I don't know, this character just sucks. He made Phantom Menace look like a kid's movie. And you go from Qui-Gon dying to the war scene on Naboo with the Gungans, and there's just a lot of things wrong with this movie. Even George Lucas himself was like, I might have gone a little far in some places, which he was right, of course. Because, I don't know, the Gungans were just a bad idea. They were just CGI machines. And, yeah. I don't think this movie started off the prequel trilogy in a good way. And there are a lot of deleted scenes where if they were added to the movie, it would have made the movie get just totally bad reception. And we only get to see Force speed once in episode 1, which is stupid, because why didn't we get to see it in all the other ones? Nope, just gonna forget about it. That never happened, They just used it, I guess, and then we're never gonna see it again. But anyways, I guess the movie's pretty cool. It's better than Rise of Skywalker or Last Jedi. I'll give you that. But next movie, Return of the Jedi, I'm gonna put in second to best, because this movie just slaps. It's the climactic finish to the original trilogy. Vader turns back to the light and becomes a Force Ghost. And they really didn't need to add Darth Vader's Anakin Skywalker ghost body into the very end. That wasn't needed at all. And by the way, the one problem I have with this movie is that if this movie's aimed for kids, why the heck did they have Leia in that slave outfit? I mean, that really didn't need to be there. I just think that was just there as like, oh look, it's a land of bikini. Well, that's just another example of why Star Wars isn't meant for like little kids. It's meant for like teens and up. Okay? The only other problem I have with this movie is that if Ben and Yoda are ghosts, it doesn't make any sense that they're old in their ghost forms, right? Because Anakin's Force Ghost was there as this young Anakin from the prequel trilogy. So, if he gets to be young as a Force Ghost, why not Yoda or Obi-Wan? Right? Doesn't make any sense to me. Which, that was a big mistake, adding Hayden Christensen as a ghost into Return of the Jedi. So, bad idea. Leave him out of it. But everything else about this movie really slaps. You know? That's about it. Alright, next, the final two to end this video off. Empire Strikes Back. I think this is like the best sequel for the movie. The best. Better than Revenge of the Sith. One of the reasons is because the characters are all, more competent, in their abilities, besides Luke, because he's just getting started with his Force stuff. But there are a lot of cool scenes in this movie, the bounty hunter scene, and then Vader has some cool comedic quotes, apology accepted, I think I think in his childhood he wanted to be a comedian, but Watto was like, no, Another good thing I like about this movie is the Han and Leia, love thing. I thought that was pretty funny, and there's just a lot of cool scenes, and then I don't really have a lot to say about this movie because us fans, we've seen it a lot, and we know what's good about this movie. I guess I liked Yoda, and we really got to see, since the prequel trilogy, how, Dagobah and being lonely sort of affected Yoda. And he learned humility, which is good. Darth Vader versus Luke, that scene was cool. Vader was as violent as he needed to be, A New Hope really kinda... I mean, that was the first movie, so I don't really blame them. But I feel like in New Hope, Vader was sort of holding back. And on this one, Vader was just going all out. We got to see him fling things at Luke and really get his saber action in there. And then just that one scene where if you saw it in the theaters, you would be, what? Where he revealed that he was Luke's father. Everyone in the freaking theater was like, what? But I wasn't born to see that happen. Yeah, so that's about it. I didn't really like the start with Hoth on that Hoth icy planet, but the movie got better from there. And they wrapped up the movie good. And then finally, to end it off, Revenge of the Sith. I know every Star Wars fan likes this movie. Likes it better than almost any movie. Maybe even Empire Strikes Back. I prefer Empire Strikes Back rather than Revenge of the Sith. Just because it feels more real, Because, in Revenge of the Sith, there's, computer animated stuff and CGI, but Empire Strikes Back, it just feels more real. Anyway, Revenge of the Sith, the climactic finish to the prequel trilogy. Okay? This movie, Revenge of the Sith, is where every line is like a quote. People even made a freaking pickup line from Kenobi being like, "Hello there," and then like the guy or the girl would be like, "General Kenobi." I don't know. I've seen that in like Tinder or whatever. Anyway, yeah, we got to see how Anakin turned to the dark side, and Palpatine reveal himself as Sidious, and the lightsaber fights were all cool. The Yoda versus Sidious, Clash of the Titans, Obi-Wan versus Anakin, Obi-Wan versus Grievous, and then Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Dooku. I don't know, it's just, there was a lot of cool action scenes, and it was just a cool movie in general. And and we got to see Luke and Leia as babies in the very end. It's just a really cool movie and a great way to wrap up the saga. And yeah, until Rise of Skywalker had to wrap up the saga. But that's about it for this tier list. I'm still waiting for Obi-Wan series to come out on Disney Plus. I've been looking on Disney Plus. It's like not there. I'm looking right now on my phone. It's not there. So and now it's time for the shoutouts. So, first person I want to shout out to, and one of my subscribers and longtime friend in middle school, his channel, Grinder Gaming. He's got a lot of cool videos, a lot of cool Skylanders videos, and he's a good artist. What he does in some of his videos is create characters with Skylanders figures and Disney Infinity figures, and he makes other figures, like he's made Captain America from Endgame for Captain America, and he made Drax with one of the Skylanders figures. He's made a lot of cool figures, and he's got a lot of cool videos too, so go check him out. Next person I want to shout out to is my good friend, and this is her channel. She's a very talented animator. She took down some of her videos, but her future videos will be coming out soon. But please subscribe to her channel. She's an underrated animator and artist. And the last but not least person I want to shout out to is my cousin. He's got his own channel, but he doesn't have any videos yet. But soon, they will be coming soon. So, can't wait to see that. So, I will give all of these channels their very own link in my description. Don't forget to check them out, and subscribe and like all their videos. And with all that said, like and subscribe, like this video too, for those who are new. And with all that said, I will see you guys back on the flip side. Peace. Happy late May the 4th.